Hello, hello, hello. Are we live? Yo, 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 yo. Yo, 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 yo. Yeah, we're live. What's up? Good morning. What's up? Shut up, computer. What's good? A fine Friday for Hannas. What's up? Good morning. That's facts. More air horn. Yeah, what's up, everyone? Happy Friday. Welcome, welcome, welcome to a fine Friday edition of BS with Hannas. That's me, Nikki Hannas, live on YouTube. Monday, Wednesday, Friday mornings at some point, usually around this time of day, sometimes earlier, seldom later, so on and so forth. It's a fine Friday, a beautiful day out here. Yeah, man. So you know what it is, dude. We're out here. You can fucking hang out on YouTube if you like. And I got nothing in the clip for today either. Nothing in the clip for today. Not really prepared. Just been working, man. I heard a quote. I've been listening to a lot of Myron Golden. I'm a big fan of Myron Golden. As anyone who listens to this knows, anyone who, I've tried to send his videos to all types of people. Because while I like coming out here and sharing things that I think, while I like, putting stuff forth, some wisdom, some thoughts, just stuff that I'm thinking about. And even as I'm working on, that's right, the work works. Fucking A. But even as I'm working on becoming a trainer, I'm certified now. Even as I'm like making my music, you find a lot of it. I make music. I think I've learned some shit in my life. And I think it's important when you learn something, give it back, share it, keep that cycle going. But I'm quick to say, like, go listen to this person, go listen to that person. If you like my music, go listen to some fucking this or that. If you like the shit I talk about, go right to the sources, dude. I'm very shameless in where I get my information. I think that's because I went to school to be a teacher. And what do teachers do? Teachers teach you stuff using other people's stuff. Hey, yo, Jerome's in the chat. Keep ripping. That's right, buddy. So yeah, I've been listening to a lot of Myron Golden recently. Uh, Whatever I was going to start saying, I have a note from something he said that I really, really like. Among the many things he says that I really, really like. But here he's got this. He says, success is not the result of hustling and grinding. The only benefit of hustling and grinding is it makes you stronger. That's an interesting take. That's an interesting take. I thought success was, in fact, a result of hustling and grinding. Then he goes on and says, the downside of getting stronger in the wrong arena is by the time you find an answer, you don't have any strength left. Interesting. An interesting thing indeed. Success does not come from hustling and grinding, from toiling, which is so contrary to my life and kind of what I would like to. I'm trying to. That's something he says too. Stop saying you're trying to. Just fucking do it. But that's an ingrained type of thing, man. That's a very ingrained way of thinking. I'm trying to escape the rat race. I'm trying to monetize my YouTube channel. I'm trying to build a fitness app. I'm trying to be a personal trainer. Motherfucker, you're just doing the thing. So why do we trip? Maybe I don't think I'm unique in that. Why do we trip? Why do we trip on that fact? Why not just say, this is what I'm doing. I'm doing this thing. Because if you're doing this thing, that turns you into the person who is that person, which goes back to that mind blowing, simple thing. Be the person who does the thing, have the results. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Myron Golden, for all the free game that dude puts on YouTube. All these cats out here just putting motherfuckers on free game, free wisdom, free wisdom. Jerome, what you got? Look into Munger inversion. Instead of asking how to be successful, ask how to avoid failure. That's wise. Yeah, that's like the inverted script type of thing. Not what do I do to become successful, but what don't I do? Yeah, that's wise too, man. I think about this shit a lot. How do I get in shape? Well, how do you not get in shape? What do you need to not do? Flipping all those scripts up. That's something they taught you in English college too. Back in my day, before the communist inversion was so mainstream like it is now. That was a literary rhetorical tactic they would teach us. Flip the script around. What if the antagonist is actually the protagonist? Yeah, and that completely changes the structure of a story. To what extent, I don't know. I mean, it's so interesting to me. It's so interesting to me. So if we don't get success from hustling and grinding, why do we continue to hustle and grind? How much of that's programming? How much of that's habitually learned constructed systems? Fascinating. So I'm reading this other book. As like I said, I'm reading The One Thing, and I, some of it's really good. Some of it's like right in line with a lot of the stuff that I read and think about, and do my best, not try, but do my best to incorporate on a daily basis, which means I do this shit as much as I can on a daily basis. See, it's a mind fuck. It's a mind fuck. I'm so used to saying, I'm trying, I'm trying, I'm trying. Looking big, big dog. I'm trying. Nah, motherfucker, I'm in the gym every day. I better be. I better be looking big. But some of this stuff that this guy says, it's like, I wonder what he did for work. Before he was this position as this authority to write this book about the one thing that'll make you millions. I'm always curious about what people did to lead them up to that moment. Not really from a hater perspective, but just from a curiosity perspective. The section I'm in, the guy it's like a quick passing thing. He's like, strangely enough, about my life, I've never worked for anybody who wasn't a millionaire. Yeah, I mean, shit. I I don't know. I've worked for dudes that weren't millionaires. I've been in the pizza shop trenches late night with the owners who were working the same hours as the cooks, same hours as their managers, just grinding it the fuck out. And there's a lot to be said for morale when the boss is in the trenches with you. He's not calling the shots from a distance. He's not phoning it in and, it's 4 o'clock, so the boss is out. He's grinding it. When you're in a busy ass pizza joint, making hoagies and sandwiches and pizzas and chicken wings and all that, and the owner is there sweating right next to you. He's the one barking orders. He's telling people, how things are done right. His eyes are on all the food leaving his business. That's a whole different animal, I would think. But I don't know. I never done white collar work. I never done work from home. I never done anything, blue collar at best, no collar mostly, you know, t-shirt work for whatever. So it's just so interesting to me when I hear things like that. Success doesn't come from hustling and grinding. Shit, all I know is the hustle and grind. But then the light in that, the redemption in that sentence, because it's shocking for me to hear, is that the hustling and grinding makes you stronger. That's the only good thing. Well, I lean on that. I think that's a very good thing. Suffering is a good thing because it makes you stronger. This goes back to all types of traditions of thought. Suffer for it just because it makes you better. How can it not? How can it not? Well, the easy and obvious way that it cannot is the fact that give it enough time, and then your life is just straight up suffering. And that's not the way we ought to live our lives, right? That's not the way we should live. We shouldn't just submit to the suffering necessary or inherent in life. But I don't know. That seems to be so accurate to me. Maybe that's why most of the stuff that has I've ever read or consumed that has resonated with me makes the most sense. Even throwing it back, the classic example for me would be the early era, the 2018 era, Jordan Peterson stuff. That a lot of his stuff was based on the principle, the premise that life is hard, you know. Life is hard, You just it's this wretched thing. Fair enough, Mr. Peterson. Fair enough. You know. Maybe that's just I don't know, man. It's so interesting to me. I'm feeling kind of pensive today, I suppose. Endure the suffering, don't submit to it, maybe. Well, I mean, you submit to it. You submit to it. Once you acknowledge that you're suffering, that's a submission. There's not really a way around that, you know. and suffering is on a scale, like it's not all suffering is not equal. But I tend to, I guess, subscribe to the fact that life is hard. Hard is hard. Hard is hard for different things. Not everything is equal, not everything's the same. So what's your hard? What's the hard you pick? That's how a lot of these guys kind of talk, and that seems to be very insightful to me. But none of all of that being said, whatever. If success doesn't come from hustling and grinding, where does the necessity of hustling and grinding fall? For me, it's like a dominating necessity. For me, just in my life and my experience and the trajectory of how I've lived, choices and compound effects of choices and compound interest and taxes to be paid on choices, it lends itself to hustling and grinding. That's kind of it. I don't know how I'm working on how to ascend from that. Goofy to think you can just snap your fingers and like, oh, look, now I can work with my mind and not my body. But that's a big distinction. That's a big distinction. Working with your body for hourly pay versus working with your mind for just big money. Maybe not even hourly. And even if you are hourly, I mean, if the whole, it's just so fascinating to me. It's just so fascinating to me as a dude whose life is in many ways dictated by my work schedule. Something else they're talking about in the one thing, it's, well, how do you live? Do you live it? Do you have a $10,000 routine for living? Do you have $1 million lifestyle routine? It's very mysterious to me because I ain't crossed that threshold yet. How can I hypothesize what it's like to have $100,000 a year lifestyle when I don't be making $100,000 a year, let alone the million? And a million's like a lot of money to a lot of people, probably until you have the million. And then it's the baseline. Like all things, you get used to it. Some people spend years in the gym and don't move that 225-pound bench press. But once you get to 225, that becomes your bench line, baseline. See, like I'm fucking, I'm reaching here. I can't even speak. But it's like all things. All things are like that. New normals, pushing forward to get to a new normal, using that as a baseline, and then moving forward. If the object is life, the object of success is more success. Stuff that I think about, man, especially on Fridays, because on Fridays I dread. I like getting up. I like doing my reading. I like taking my walks. I like lifting my weights. I like talking my shit out here to my people on YouTube. Shout out to y'all. But man, I fucking dread the open to close days in the restaurant, man. It's like, dude, there's a much bigger world out here. There's a whole big old world out here with all types of cool people, all types of idiots, all types of negative shit. But man, I'm chilling when I'm not at work. Sometimes I just fucking dread. I just dread it and then do it again tomorrow. Just dread it. So whatever, dude. That's part and parcel of it, man. If success is more than suffering and grinding, but I'm in a suffer, hustle, and grind phase, I guess I gotta just lean into it and let it make me stronger. But then the flip side, the ending of that Myron Golden quote, the downside of being strong is in the wrong arena. You're strengthened in the wrong arena. By the time you find the answer, you don't have any strength left. So I guess that's the trick, as far as I can tell. As far as I can tell, at least. Suffer and endure. You got to endure it. If you got endurance, you'll still have some strength left at the end of that long, grueling set, the many sets of life. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. Shit. Maybe that's helpful. Probably not. It's just a bunch of questions. I just like posing questions out here, man. Sometimes when I think too much about what am I going to talk about, then I got really nothing to talk about. And I'll take a small thing that I had and stretch it a little too far. But I mean, when I come out here and talk, what do I talk about? Just what I'm doing, what I'm thinking, what I'm wondering about, what I'm interested in. I like to wake up and I like to walk every day. I like to play my guitar. I like to read. I like to build. I've been trying to build this new ecosystem of this brand, of which this podcast, BS with Hannas, is a part of it. My music, Nikki B. Hannas. I got all types of stuff online. I've been obsessed with just building. I've been obsessed with just slowly, slowly inching that needle forward. 20 minutes at this every day, 20 minutes at another thing every day. That shit adds up. That shit adds up. And if you think too much about what it is you're doing, you lose a lot of times the desire to do it because it's such an imposing end result. So, which is the positive side of this, the one thing book, it's something he talks about. I don't know how much I can identify with a guy who's saying he's never worked for anyone who wasn't a millionaire. It makes me wonder, what did you do? Were you in like financial consulting or something? Are you going to work at a bank? Are you going to like, are you in IT? I don't know. I have no idea. I don't understand that. If I had a work from home job and I needed to use Microsoft Teams or this program and I'd be like, I would have no idea where to start. I would have no idea where to start. I go to work, I do a bunch of things, an endless list of tasks, starting with turning the lights on and ends with locking the door, counting the money, making sure the shit's cooked up right, making it look pretty, cleaning tables, cleaning a bathroom, you know, cleaning a shitter. You know when the toilet's clean or not because you do the thing. It's a mystery to me being in consulting work, but I guess it's my mystery to uncover. It's like I said a couple weeks ago on here, the idea of life being a video game and the map is just clouded in. And as you play the game, as you explore the territory, you get to reference the map. It's no longer cloudy. You've been there, you've seen it. Now you know a little bit about it. That baseline is increased. And doing this, even just coming out, and some days I'm real focused and locked in and high energy. Other days I'm not. Other days I'm cranky. Other days I'm fucking just chilling. I'm kind of just pensive today. I'm kind of just thinking, you know, pondering all the stuff that I read, trying to incorporate it. There I go again. Trying. Doing this podcast is a great way to incorporate the things I read just because I'm asking questions. Just because I'm shit. Right now, everybody, just like the wise dude on my comment section the other day, I'm just a random dude alone in his house talking into a podcast mic. So it's me and me. You guys are in here, and I appreciate you guys being in the chat. But no mistake, when I'm sitting in this room looking out my window, I'm like faced with the same silence. When I stop talking, I got that same silence you guys got. I'm waiting on the edge of my seat for my own next word, and it's my responsibility. So if I'm gonna put a thought forward, I gotta follow it up. But it can't all be for nothing. That's for sure. Everything I do, I believe everything I do is pushing that needle forward to the next step of life, whatever that may be. Whatever that may be, man. And maybe I just need to get stronger. Maybe I'm not done my hustling and grinding season. Maybe there's still strength to be gained from doing all these fucking reps. And some of the best reps you'll ever get in your life are the ones you don't fucking feel like doing. For sure. That gym session when it's the last thing in the world you wanted to do. You just don't feel like going and fucking moving some weight again. You're just beat up. You're tired. I mean, those are the transformative moments. The great ones, the real high thumos sessions, I mean, they're awesome. No mistake about that. They are great, but they occupy a different space. It's no different than playing a guitar. Over the past month or so, I've been making a point to play a little bit every day. 20 minutes a day, every day. Just keep my fucking instrument in my hands, keep my fingers fretting, keep my hands strumming. It's very important because there are times when in the past when I've been like, man, I want to be creative, but creativity is not there. So therefore, I'm not even, why am I going to pick up my guitar? I don't have anything to do with it. What kind of guitar player thinks that way? You're going to call yourself not trying to be a guitarist, but you're a guitarist and you don't even want to pick up your instrument because you're feeling a type of way. That is soft, scared money, bitch boy shit. So can't be doing that. There's a Friday message. Fuck it. We know what it is. Just like my man Jerome came in here saying, keep ripping. That's what it is, dude. Keep after it. And if I'm going to talk all this shit, and if I'm going to pontificate about the message of keep going, keep ripping, just keep doing the thing. Don't stop doing it. It's a Friday. Who gives a shit? You don't feel like going to work. Who gives a shit? You still got weights to lift, still got people to serve, still got things to do, responsibility to be shouldered, some suffering to be had, some endurance to be met. Yeah, man. Best get on after it. Last note for today. I ain't done this in a while. Here's some positive thinking. Here's some positive thinking for today from my dude, Mr. Norman Vincent Peale. What's today? April 24th. I ain't picked this book up in a little while. Here we go. Positive thinking every day. April 24th, 2026. Parting thought on this fine Friday. Problems are to the mind What exercise is to the muscles, they toughen and make strong. Ooh, yeah, I didn't even look at that before I picked this book up. Yeah, man. So listen back to that part. Fucking A, right. Happy Friday. I'm gonna get out of here. Chest and arms today. So I hear it calling. I gotta answer that call, baby. Thanks for hanging out. BS with Hannas live on YouTube with me, Nikki Hannas. You can find it here. I send it out to Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, so on and so forth. You can listen to it there. Thank you to my audio listeners. There's a handful of y'all. I appreciate you guys too, man. You want some music? Check out the other YouTube channel, Nikki Hannas Music, backing track jam series. There's some live videos. There's some official music videos, bunch of stuff on there. Pretty cool channel. I love those backing track videos. That's a lot of fun. Studio stuff, NikkiBehannas.com, NikkiBehannas.bandcamp.com, Nikki Behannas on all streaming services. You want to get some merch like this fine shirt that I got on right now? Oh, yeah, buddy. Heavy blues metal. This is the V3 Commandment tee. Lift, shred, keep ripping. You already know. That's the message. That's why I come out here. So, yeah, you want to support? Links are in the channel. Fucking A. I'm going to shut up. Happy Friday. Keep it real. I'm out. One love. Peace.